What up, guys? Seth. Seth Hurt. I gotta name the channel. This is the first video that I'm gonna be posting. This is gonna be a review video on the STX Eclipse 3. Let's get into the review. Let's go. Just a little background. Here is an Eclipse 2 that I used in college. And this is one of my more favorite pockets. I did also use a Nemesis 3 for a little bit too, because these were getting too flimsy. So this is what it looks like. Kind of slants back a little bit, as you can see, which wasn't great. For as the plastic got softer, it kind of decided to bend like that, which isn't great. And this head isn't like super old. That's the crazy part about it. Not super old. As you can see, the scoop is pretty flat. There's not like really, it kind of just, when you scoop to the ground ball, it kind of just went to the ground. It wasn't really like shaped differently. Here's the throat. Throat's more rounded on this version. This is the Eclipse 2. A little bit more rounded. I think sidewall holes are actually the same, and top string holes are the same, just a little different. Now here's my Eclipse 3, and now the major differences, I'll hold them up next to each other, is it doesn't lean forward as much. So it still leans backwards a little bit, but it's not so much where this one kind of, this one's not on the shaft, but do I actually have a shaft? I do have a shaft. Let me grab it. Put it on the shaft to show you guys. This is actually not what I played on, but as you can see, this one kind of leans back a little bit more slightly, which leads to more like bending and stuff like that. This plastic is a little bit thicker. The sidewall is kind of the same. No, the sidewall changed. The sidewall design changed quite a bit. And the face shape is still exactly the same, the Eclipse face shape that everybody loves. I love it. The throat changed a little bit. So like I showed you on the other head, it was a little bit more rounded. This one is a little bit more squared. It's kind of, there it is. I can show all the bridges of it. It's more rounded, but when I have my glove on, it doesn't really feel a whole lot different. This is where my thumb sits, and I have a thumb piece that goes over it. But I kind of like to grip it like this, one behind, one in front. Like, this is mostly how I like to play, with my hands on the plastic. This is like one of the biggest points that I like that they improved with, was the scoop stiffness. So as you can see, this is still, no head is going to be so perfect that it's not going to like bend backwards. But this one's pretty stiff, and it's been used quite a bit and left out in the heat pretty recently. This one, as you can see, this isn't like fresh out of the box. Disclaimer. STX did a great job with this stick, and it was used forever. I know some guys who absolutely love this head will not go away from it because of the throat and everything and how they liked it, and they're almost done with college, so they're probably going to keep using this. But it's just the stiffness. Like, I'd have some shots where I'd get a 15-yard step down, stick side high, and I wouldn't get the full thing, and I wouldn't make the save in the mesh. I'd make the save like on the plastic, and it would just go boop, and it would go in the back of the net, and I'd be like, that's the worst. It's the worst feeling ever, and you're beating yourself up because it's going backwards, and it's really can't really change that. I had some balls hit here, and they just bounce straight out. As you can see, there's some ball birds on the top of the stick there. Some of the balls they're just bouncing right out, and part of that is because of this new scoop. One of my favorite scoops. Took me a little bit to get used to, but as you can see, it looks more like a bowl instead of like a flat like shovel, which is a good way to explain it. My stick's not a bowl, but it looks more like a bowl and instead of a shovel, which is huge for picking up ground balls. You can come on a ground ball on the side here. That's actually a good way to see it. And you can come on the ground ball on the side, and you can still pick up ground balls like off the side here, or especially when you're getting over top of balls, it's great because you get all the way over the ball and you bend a little bit. That's how you make low saves. As you can see in the video, the low saves I made, they stayed right by my feet. And I would credit that a little bit to having this scoop already over top of the ball. So when you get on top of it, like say this is the ball, when you get on top of it, you have more of the plastic behind the ball, which is great. I really do I love this head a lot. The things they changed with it are just great. I mean, I'm not a small guy. I've been pushing on this thing a little bit, like getting up like off a low shot or anything, and it's still like it's still pretty stiff for the most part. This is how I like my heads, not super stiff to the point where they get hit, they break. This thing is absolutely money. I like the 2 screw holes on the back too. This one had 2 screw holes, but they were kind of like, they were kind of more out. These ones are a little more recessed into the, they're a little bit smoother. These ones were kind of like pushed out because they couldn't make it any smaller. I don't have a scale in front of me, like the exact weight, but I would say that with my hand scale, both on shafts, they're about the same weight. There's not much changed the weight wise, so don't be like, oh, it's thicker, it's gonna be, no, they just move some of the plastic around a little bit to kind of free up some areas, make some areas thicker. One cosmetic thing I love too about this head is right here. I like how this is flat and kind of has this, like, I don't know, like step down like type of thing on it, because I don't have the head over here, but like the Hyperpower had that, and it was like a flat thing. I loved it. Again, love how the throat is. It's not super wide. Like the ECD Impact is a little wide up here, which, well, I wasn't the biggest fan of when I used it. I liked it at first, but it was just the ECD Impact was too round, and it warped too much like this way. It was too flimsy. I definitely do like how these are not super wide, but they're not so close that it's going to snap here. That's going to be the huge test, is the durability over time. I mean, I'm going to be using this one and another one I have for basically the rest of my college fall ball. I'm really picky with my heads. With this head in college, my freshman year, I went through I broke one down here and up here. That was one. This one was my second one. And I had one more. I had a third one that I didn't really get to use as much. Everything that I got out of it was great. I love the Eclipse 2. It was good for when it came out, and I like it, and people are still probably going to use it and be ride or dies by it because it's so nice. But you really can't deny the facts that this thing is just engineered to stop the ball a little bit better. I just love the way it looks with the black STX here. The ball stop is my favorite thing on this whole head. So, see if you can get it. It's got a little, like, a shine to it, like the Stallion 1K. This is basically one of the best heads I've used, and I will say that. I'll stand by that. The only thing, stringers, if you're stringing your own pockets, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. Now, that's one thing I did want to say. I'll pop up a real video of me, my string job here next. It's going to pop up, like, right now. Okay, that popped up. You saw that. So this thing has a flat, it's very flat scoop. So you can string your pockets normally how you like to, and it's not really going to click off the plastic a ton. This one, on the other hand, it was a learning curve. Because the scoop is so turned in, they basically took the plastic and went like this and turned it in and molded it. That's not actually what they did. They made a whole new mold. As you can see, it's like when you turn it this way, it looks like there's a bowl in here, which is nice. But when you're stringing, be careful because it does hit off the plastic a little bit more because there's more plastic in the way than with the Eclipse 2, which I firmly stand by that. I've talked with several stringers about it. I talked with Lars, Sidewall Jedi, and me and him were talking, just got to reshape. He was saying rethink your pocket shapes that you can make, which I firmly agree with. Like, this is not really a pocket that I thought I was going to like. I thought this thing was going to throw right to the ground, have too much channel. This thing is the best pocket in the Eclipse 2 that I've strung. There can always be better. I can always improve on it, but I like this pocket a lot. This is probably one of the most channeled sticks I've used in a long time, and I love it. It's huge. Like I said, again, Lars, Sidewall Jedi. I'm just going to say Lars from now on. But I used his Eclipse 3 and the Eclipse Mesh, and I liked it. I strung it up. I didn't like the way I strung it up. It got too soft for me. I like a very, very hard mesh. Like, this is, now that we're saying it, this is Impact, so it's pretty hard and it's fairly new. The way this gets, I would love for the Eclipse to stay like that hard. I like to string a stick up, know the pattern works, not touch it ever again. Because I'm very superstitious. If I don't like how my stick throws, I'll change it. So I need my stick to work right 100% of the time, every time, which it does now. So that's basically it. I mean, I can go into hours on hours on hours on end of talking about goalie sticks and how that stick is helped a lot. But as you can see on, like, low saves, it's great, it smothers the ball. High saves stays stiff enough for you to be able to make those saves, and it's just phenomenal. I love the way it feels, and I love the way the sidewall is and everything, the scoop, the hand, the throw. I love how it is. And I like the new sidewall design too. But this is probably one of my favorite heads that I've used in a long time. And that's saying a lot because I was a big supporter of the Eclipse 2 until I was breaking them like constantly. So I decided to go away from them. Went to an ME3, loved it, a little heavy. But once you got used to it, it was fine. And then once this came out, I said, okay, I'm going back to STX because they make some of the best gear, and I will say that. Shout out to STX. So hopefully we'll see more from this head, and they'll put out more of them because they're currently sold out everywhere. I'm lucky enough to have gotten 2 of them right away. That's basically the end of the review. If you guys liked the review, drop a like down below. My Instagram is @goalie1 on Instagram. Go follow that. My string account is also Roadrunner Strings on Instagram. Go follow that. Show some love over there. We're trying to get big a little bit here, so we can trying to get a little bigger so we can have maybe STX have a little partnership or a sponsorship or something, because I love their gear and it's perfect. And my new school is going to be STX as well, so I'm going to be using their gear for years to come. That's basically the end of the video. If you have any questions, drop them down below. If you have any questions on the Instagram reel, pop them on my Instagram. I'll try to answer as quick as possible. That's basically it. That's it for the review on the STX Eclipse 3. Have a great day and hit the field. Let's go.